On Tuesday, 8 Brooklyn individuals were charged with multi-million-dollar COVID-19 relief fraud by obtaining $2 million in fraudulent unemployment benefits. And they couldn't stop flexing about it. I mean, look, I know it's tempting to flex on Instagram, but if you're going to commit fraud, you have to stop, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing you a solid here. I got to tell you guys, I'm not trying to help scammers, but come on, we need a better class of criminal here.
This town deserves a better class of criminal.
Let's go to the board here, right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coffeezilla, home of the $10 million studio. I'm your host. And today, we're doing the thing. Guys, we're going to talk about this fraud case. Absolutely insane. Of course, you can see here that 8 Brooklyn individuals were charged with multi-million-dollar COVID-19 relief fraud. We talked about that. But when you actually go into the specifics, it was an unemployment scheme. So as many of you know, the CARES Act was passed because they wanted to give people extended or, expanded unemployment relief. They were able to submit false unemployment claims to get money from a government that was, frankly, overwhelmed. But for some people, like Brian Abraham, Carlos Vasquez, Angel Cabrera, Armeni Miller, all these guys, it became more than a simple way to make a couple thousand. It became a way to make an entire fortune by taking other people's information and submitting fake unemployment claims on their behalf. The scheme turned into not only, just trying to extend your own unemployment benefits, it became an entire scheme to make millions. So here's how the fraud worked. There are 2 primary methods for filing for unemployment in New York State. To make a claim, the claimant was required to provide certain information, including the claimant's name, date of birth, social security number, and employment information. If the claim was accepted, the claimant was also required to establish on a weekly basis his or her continued eligibility for unemployment benefits. The claimant would then complete this recertification by answering a series of questions, again, online or by telephone. So this is what these guys did, according to the DOJ. They submitted claims on other people's behalf, made calls on other people's behalf, and made a ton of money from it by loading up debit cards in other people's name, and then they would go withdraw from ATMs. But here's where these guys went wrong. They fell for the #1 trap of Instagram, which seems to be trying to flex to all your friends and family with the money you're supposedly making. But the problem is the money they were making was from fraud. And so these people started to post to social media, carrying stacks of cash, fanning out cash. And this is allegedly, it is the money they made from fraudulent unemployment claims. I mean, I can't imagine a more scummy thing to do, to take from honest people who are really looking for unemployment and really can't get a job. Instead, you're flashing cash, standing in front of cars, flipping the bird, I guess. Look, let me say right up front, I don't want to give these people too hard of a time. I mean, I looked at their age. They're 18 to like 22, 25. And yes, that's old enough to where you should know better, but they're also young enough to where this could be an honest mistake that haunts them for the rest of their life. And it is very sad to think that they may have thrown away their lives for something so small. And I do hope that they bounce back from this. This is such a disease, this clout chasing. I mean, #1, they probably did it because they wanted a ton of money and they thought it was a funny scheme. But then you're flexing online like you're a baller to try to be something you're not. And in order to support that lifestyle, you have to steal more money. I mean, like, look at this guy. Bro, the problem also is, like, when a jury sees this, you're done. Look, just word to the wise, no jury looks fondly on you flashing the cash of your fraud. I mean, it just doesn't work. Like, already, if you commit fraud, they're probably going to go with the defense of, like, they were kids, they didn't know what they were doing, blah, blah, blah. But then when the prosecutor shows you just flashing cash, it's a bad look. It is. I'm sorry, but it really is. And, I find it unbelievable that we still are seeing these things go on. I told you guys last time, we had a PPP Chronicles episode where somebody, they were bragging on Facebook about the new house they bought with their proceeds. What is up with this epidemic of people bragging about stolen funds on social media? Why do you keep doing it? Stop it. For your sake. It's not even for me. I laugh at it. I think it's funny. But for you guys, I mean, I'm like, come on, what are you doing? You're doing the old, like, hold the money to your phone? Like, ring, ring, you're going to jail. What are you doing? What's the money saying to you right now, bud? why? I just think look, I really do think when I'm looking at these ages, 18, 19, 20, 25, it's like, this is tragically young to be committing this kind of fraud. And, it does just make me sad. It makes me sad for him. Two of the people, Armani Miller and Johan Santos, remain at large, apparently. They haven't caught him yet. But 6 of these guys have been arrested. And the way they got arrested is pretty interesting. They were caught on security footage from, the ATMs. And so they were taking money from the ATM, and literally the security cameras just caught them. And so this is also part of the evidence against them. Besides the flexing on social media, you've got photographs of them taking money from the ATM of other people's unemployment, right? That they somehow got their information. They applied for unemployment benefits in their name. And then they're taking that money from Capital One Bank, supposedly to use it and to flex. Guys, I hope it was worth it. You clout chased your way to jail. For the rest of you, don't do it. Please stop. Okay? And I don't know what people were thinking, that you could submit a bunch of false documents and no one would ever find out. Don't forget, you had to make phone calls in these people's name. And so these people, apparently, according to the DOJ's report here, Carlos Vasquez, for example, they used their cell phone numbers as the third party's phone number. And so when they were calling weekly about unemployment, it sounds like that these claims were made in the same guy's voice over and over. So imagine you're in an unemployment office going down your list, and 12 of the guys sound like the same guy. Because it is. It's literally the same guy making the same answer every time. Oh yeah, still unemployed. Terrible. You call the next guy, same guy. You sound a little familiar. No, man. No. It's hard times. A ridiculous scheme made even more ridiculous by the flexing. Don't do it. Anyways, that's basically it. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
I know what you mean. This ain't what it seemed. Nothing but a trick, trying to sell me on a dream, but that was where you lost me. Wake up and smell the coffee.